Sorry, I should make that clear. I should make that clear. That was the Richard Dawkins God Delusion book, and not a euphemism for anything untoward. Oh, God. Look at the size of his Dawkins.
That's what the whales call it. That's what the baby whales have got.
Yeah, no, exactly. But there's also that fear of, as you say, you have to offer some constraints and some limitations. You want to send them down certain roads.
That's right.
But you want to open up those other roads as well. You like to think that you're going to mould them into this kind of free-thinking individual that makes all the right decisions. But you can't leave the parameters too wide. You've got to nail some things down.
Yeah, exactly. The problem mainly is that I've been watching lots of Adam Curtis documentaries.
Right, of course.
You know, like I've been watching The Trap. That's on BBC Tonight, isn't it?
And this is these documentaries which are very much about how kind of people's minds and thoughts and society is kind of shaped by various outside forces.
Yeah, exactly. It's just designed to upset and confuse middle-class people.
Yeah.
And it's worked on me completely. I'm now completely confused and I feel manipulated. I'm an idiot. I'm the product of all kinds of government conspiracies and media. Think tank. It's just a disaster area. So how am I qualified to offer any advice to my sons at all?
Yeah,
You know?
I think you should give them up for adoption.
Maybe I will.
It's the obvious option straight away. So
well, listen, you know, we can canvass for some potential parents on this show.
Would you like the child of a minor celebrity? 64046 Stephen.6musicnews.co.uk. Get in touch, let us know whether you're going to be shaping them in any particular way. Second choice from you, Adam, please, this week. You've very much come here to choose music, lest we forget.
Yeah. This one is by a band called the Kingsbury Manx, and I really know very little about them, other than the fact that they're American.
Well, you've already embarrassed yourself with Silver Jews and Pavement.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to make that mistake again.
Take any chances.
Let's just let the music do the talking.
Yeah, this is... Oh, sorry.
Come on. Pay attention.
It's called Pel's Comet. Pelzkomet.
Let me make a note of that, thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Music fans.
Steve Merchant here, Steve Show with me, Adam Buxton of Adam and Joe fame, and also, of course, of late you have been building a reputation with your little interesting, I don't know, what have they got names, the things that you post on YouTube and the like?
Just the videos, aren't they? I mean,
just videos? You just want to call them videos?
Yeah, I could call them films, I suppose, but that would be
that's too much. They're not films. No, that's not films. No, they haven't got the class of that. But they're no, they're great. The one that I think which maybe most people might be familiar with is and they may not even be sure that it was you, but it's the one that features Richard and Judy, and some kind of stoner is phoned up to play You Say We Pay, and he's offering any number of kind of lame attempts to identify the objects which Richard and Judy seem to inexplicably get from his kind of his answer. I don't know how it can be. Is it an easy way for people to find them if they're intrigued, they've not seen it, because it's so brilliant?
Well, I think if you just put in You Say We Pay on YouTube, it'll pop up. And
you've done also the one which is one of the guys doing the translation for deaf people on he's using sign language on BBC News 24, and you've translated it for us.
Yes, exactly.
But where do these ideas come from? Firstly, where do they come from? And secondly, why bother? Because I'm assuming they're not really making you any money or anything.
No, they're not making me any money. Well, because it's the kind of thing that I would be doing anyway, and that I used to do all the time. And you know, when we were doing the Adam and Joe show, we'd put things like that in the program. But then there's a lot of things that aren't clearable necessarily when you're tinkering around with bits of TV.
Of course, right.
So they don't really have a home anywhere else, and I couldn't get paid for them. Although a lot of local Time Trumpet, which went out last year, Armando Iannucci's program.
And you do all of this at home? You've got like a DIY studio and everything?
Yeah, I've got like a Mac and Final Cut Pro, and yeah, just record a huge amount of television, load it in and sort of revoice it or re-edit it and stuff like that. And it's good because it keeps my ridiculous face off the whole thing.
Hey, come on, this is a lovely face, alright, and that's coming from me, and I know a bit about faces.
Yeah.
I don't know why I should know some stuff about faces, but you know, I've cast many great talents in some of the TV shows I've worked on, you know, and they've gone on to great things, Adam.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so I know a little bit about faces. Okay?
Thanks, man.
That's all I'm saying.
I feel better about it now.
But because Richard and Judy one, did you end up actually on Richard and Judy?
Yeah, they saw it, and they said, would I come on and talk about YouTube in general, and that they would show the clip, and sure enough they did. They showed a whole bunch of their favourite clips from YouTube, and Richard had apparently just discovered the whole thing.
Right, and was championing it as though he'd, you know, it was the hot new thing.
Yeah. And he was saying, you know, if you haven't seen this, that's extraordinary. It's just an amazing world out there, and so many wonderful, just hilarious clips on there. And I'm addicted. You've got to see it if you've never seen it before. But so I was in the bizarre, surreal position of having made this thing about Richard and Judy, and it's not offensive to them in any way, because I admire their show, and that wasn't the point of the clip anyway. So I was sat there watching this thing that I'd made about Richard and Judy next to Richard and Judy. on their show.
And this was before the whole "You Say We Pay" scandal, so now it seems very prescient in some way that you were sort of mocking it or targeting it or something. But actually, it had no correlation with the.
No, it was before. Like the other thing that people do on YouTube a lot, the comments on YouTube, if you're not familiar with it, are very amusing. People watch these videos and then they say what they think, sometimes underneath, and usually it's either just to say that they laughed out loud or LOL, they say, or rolled on the floor laughing, ROFL.
Sure.
Or the other way they go is just to abuse you and to leave a stream of foul-mouthed abuse for you. But then
it's amazing how antagonised people can become by something that's free.
Yeah.
That someone's made for no money, for no commercial gain, but they're still like furious about it. I can't believe you're mocking Richard and Judy's "You Say We Pay." It got me through so many desperate hours when my wife left me, and you've reduced it to nothing. They just become so furious. It's so strange.
Yeah, that's right. And but then the other thing they do is they say everything's fake. Yeah, right. Even when it's clearly fake. There was no question that this episode of "You Say We Pay" was real, because there was some profanity in it, and that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't let that pass on national television.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, this is so obviously fake."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yes, it is. It's absolutely fake, and there's really nothing you can say.
to appease them, indeed. Yeah. Okay, well, let's play a final tune from you before you go, because I know you're a busy man. You've probably got some important stuff to do this afternoon. What will you be doing this afternoon?
I will be going home extremely slowly, trying to avoid doing any sort of family work.
Sure, clever. Yeah. Are you a guy who gets stuck in nappies and so on?
Yes, absolutely. It's sort of enjoyable, although they're potty training at the moment. That's not quite so enjoyable.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't mind. Bath time, it'll be tonight when I get home. I'm in charge of bath time tonight. And then I get to watch 24?
I'm
just rambling. Yeah, 24 and Lost.
Did you enjoy my appearance in 24?
I really did.
Was it a shock? Did you know it was coming?
No, I didn't know it. It was a real shock. But then, listen, I want to, like, bum you out or anything.
Oh, no, don't bum me out.
But at one stage I was thinking, listen, I'm glad to see Stephen and everything, and it's funny to see him there. But if he's actually in the whole series, then
that would be absurd.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe that you were like a new running character in the thing.
That would have been extraordinary, but I've always imagined that, because I sort of been wondering to myself what I was doing at CTU, and I like to think I was maybe doing a bit of light admin work. That's right. I'd sort of be drafted in as a temp. Or maybe I was sort of setting up the CTU MySpace page. You know, I'm CTU, I'm 27, and you know, I just like that, but it would have been fantastic if as you say, I just not appeared at all until the last episode, where I miraculously jumped in front of Jack, took a bullet for him, or some such. That would be such a wonderful.
You don't come back at the end of the series.
I'm afraid I don't come back at the end of the series. Not.
It was good because it's like, if you haven't seen it, listeners, he's in episode 1 of the current series of 24, series 6, I think it is, and it's like about 2
8 seconds, something. Yeah, 2 seconds. Yeah.
But
I bigged it up to 8 seconds there. I apologise. Yeah, it was a mere 2 seconds.
Someone hands you a piece of paper or something, and you look up and you sort of think, "Oh my God, it's Steve Merchant," and then it looks as if you're just on the verge of pulling like a stupid face or something. And then they.
Do you know, I wasn't. I was giving it my best acting. That's the terrible thing when you realise you've got a face that will never allow you to be a serious actor. What's your final choice?
This is Guided by Voices, a band that I was introduced to by Graham Linehan, the famous comedy writer. Anyway, I finally got the message about Guided by Voices after a while of not really understanding what the point was. And I think this is a track called Echos Myron. Is this track 8?
Track 8.
Track 8, yeah, just...
Nice, just checking. Classy. You've had some radio experience. You know the best thing to do is to name check the track we're actually going to play. Clever. A lot of people are saying we should have done that earlier. For those of you who wondered what the strange coughing fit was during the song, we realised as we started playing it that Adam had chosen a song which had the S word in it, and he very kindly volunteered to edit it out live, which is what he did, and brilliant it was too.
Thanks very much. A little bit of anti-profanity coughing.
It's very good. Now, before I send you off, I know you're someone who watches TV endlessly, and you've got very strong opinions on it, thereof.
Yeah, more or less.
It's just something that's been perplexing me endlessly, and I wonder if you can cast some light on it. Is that Fern? I think it's Fern Britton. Is she the woman that features?
Fern Britton is on This Morning.
That's right. And there was an advert, I don't know if it's still on, in which she's sort of backstage, presumably at This Morning, and she's very thin.
Yes.
It turns out she's very thin, and she's eating some low-fat snacks.
They've given her a CG body, a slim CG body.
But she's got a slim body, but at the end of the advert, she straps on a fat body.
That's right.
Thus making her into the Fern that we know.
Yeah.
and I'm just very confused by the agenda at work. So she's secretly thin.
Yeah.
Eats low-fat snacks that allow her to be thin.
Exactly.
But then chooses to give the illusion of fatness.
She'd love to be fat.
Which is a very strange message to be sending in this in this world of size zero debate and so on.
Yeah.
That Fern is actually secretly thin thanks to snacks, but chooses to suggest to the world that she's fat.
That's true, isn't it?
It's a very
world of confusion. It's a web of deceit. Yeah, because she's ashamed, like because the public know her and love her as a nice, full-figured woman with a charming personality, and actually the secret is, the truth is,
she's a beautiful, slim woman
with her weight.
Exactly, yeah.
And she does anything she can to keep herself slim. I know it's a shame.
It's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you away with that.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Because I know that, you're probably a big Fern fan.
Yeah.
I know you don't really do much with your days, like me. You probably sat around a lot watching this morning.
Maybe Fern Cotton, then, is the opposite.
She's actually a secret bloater.
She's giant.
Yeah,
And
she's chowing down on McDonald's and the like.
Yeah, she's got this kind of special reflective suit that she puts on. It makes it look as if she's really slim. It's a frightening world.
Do you have an opinion on a TV advert that you'd like to share with us? The other one I'd say that freaks me out is the Haribo advert. You know, the little kid from the Haribo packet? He leaps off the packet and he dances around. The happy sound of Haribo,
Oh, yeah.
la 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 la. But there's something really terrifying about it. Like he's this poor cartoon child trapped in an adult world, unable to get back to Haribo land, forced to sing that strange haunting song. The happy sound of Haribo, la 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 la. It's the sort of thing that some psycho would say in a cheap straight-to-video slasher film.
We went
the happy
to,
sound of Haribo, la 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 la.
We went on holiday in France last year, in the south of France, near Avignon, and we went to the Haribo Museum.
Wow.
Because
that's got to be dull.
That's where they make the Haribo sweets. It's so dull. It's unbelievable. And if you think that advert's weird, you should go to the Haribo Museum. Like they basically just made it. It seems to be constructed as some kind of tax dodge. So there's great big sort of empty rooms with with sort of badly framed pictures of some of their products on the wall. and then some of the interactive attractions include like a box that you can put your hand in, and there's a sweet inside, and you feel the sweet, and then you can smell your fingers, and it smells of the sweet. And then they've got a pipe that's just coming out of the wall, and you smell the pipe, and they pump the smell of chocolate down the pipe. It's like it's kind of a freakish nightmare Willy Wonka world.
There's surely someone who's just set that up to try and lure tourists in.
Yeah.
It's no affiliation to Haribo.
No.
It's just some maniac with a shed. I thank you very much. Chocolate pipe, chocolate pipe. Wow, you could smell a pipe and they pump chocolate smells down it. It's extraordinary. You've painted a wonderful image with words, and that, of course, is one of your many skills. Thank you so much, Adam, for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed for your song selections, and hopefully you'll come back in the future
I'd love to.
and talk nonsense with us again.
Yeah, I've got a secret project that I can't divulge at the moment.
Wow.
I'm doing it all on my own. It might turn out to be a total disaster, but if I figure it out and do it, I want to come and tell you about it.
Of course. Is there anything else you want to plug?
Not really. Oh, except that me and Joe do this podcast for Coke Music. So do check it out, because I think people just completely ignore it because they think that we're taking the dirty dollar and just doing this really lame podcast. And it did start out quite lame, to be honest with you. But it's now quite good. So do check it out. The Adam and Joe Coke Music podcast. It's on iTunes.
Thank you very much indeed, Adam. A round of applause for him. 1974, Etta James and Out on the Street Again from the album Come a Little Closer, which Etta recorded while commuting from a drug rehab centre that she was in at the time. It's nice to have those bits of rock and roll history, I think, when you hear a song, and I've given it to you there. It's the Steve Show, BBC Six Music with me, Steve Merchant. Harry and Dan are still here, and we welcome, of course, Super Posh Rufus. He likes to come in, adds a bit of hunky glam to the tail end of the show, and we welcome you as always. I was so enjoying my chat with Adam. I've not really thought to ask you any questions. What's been going on in your life? I'll tell you what I've been asking people today is, how would you pitch yourself? How would you sell yourself if you're on a speed dating event? You've sat down, a honey is sat opposite you, you're charmed by her.
Yeah.
I know you're a taken man, but if you weren't, and you need to pitch yourself, you need to sell yourself, what would you come out with straight away?
Well, I've done speed dating once, actually, and I found that selling yourself in 3 minutes is an extraordinarily difficult thing to do,
Yeah.
and it's best not to start with what's your name, where'd you come from, what do you do, but to say something like, if you were a toothpaste, what would you be? What's your favourite movie? Where'd you get those shoes? Kind of something that's very direct and very crisp and very clear.
Sure, but-
and then hope they'll ask you questions back.
But does that actually kind of give any insight into you? How does it? You know what I mean? I'm worried that that's just superficial. What's your favourite colour? Blue. I'm not sure that it's given much insight into my
It's kind of a
fascinating personality.
shortcut. If you asked me my favourite film or something and I said it was Magnolia, you might go, that's telling me a lot about Ruth, a lot more than where do you live? Oh, you live there. What do you do? Oh, you live there. Do you know what I mean? I think shortcuts are quite good.
What I would normally do is get out my cuttings.
Yeah.
Get out all my press cuttings.
Yeah.
You know, just there's a lot of work